There we go. So I hate to be late. So what the hell? Sportsguru.vegas, live from Las Vegas, coming to you. Welcome everybody. We did not do a show on Monday. Actually, we didn't have enough plays to release, so we didn't do the show. I didn't do any videos as well on the platforms. Welcome to my show, Gurus. Sports Guru Vegas Live. I actually had made a bathroom trip. That's why I was late. So better now than better then than now, right? So it's okay, Guru. So welcome to my show. Tuesday, raining the last 2 days in Las Vegas. Crazy, right? The Super Bowl teams both arrived on Sunday, and the weather's been awful since they've been here, and it's going to be bad today. It's going to be a little better tomorrow and a little better on Thursday. And then Friday it clears up. The reason I'm giving the weather is because obviously the reason the Super Bowl was here is the weather, right? They're supposed to have sun out and go down to the strip and do all the things on the all the events that they have. And they have a lot of events. They had about 25,000 people went to see each of the teams in the stadium. Just watch as they showed up. So that's pretty special. And I'm looking forward to that game. And we're leaning the Chiefs in that side. I don't see any reason not to. I do think the Niners and Shanahan are probably due to win a game here eventually. But you know what? There's a lot of coaches that went to the Super, not a lot, but there's some coaches that have been to the Super Bowl and never won it. Levy went 4 times in a row, Gurus. So the Bills coach, and he never made it. So usually, if you don't win it when you get your chance, you won't win it. And we know that the Chiefs are winning it. And one thing, Gurus, as you know, we had the Ravens and Bills against the Chiefs, and what I knew. And I'll tell you what stands out to me about the Chiefs. We have 2 round robins today in college basketball, and I'll share those with you in a moment here. We bet against the Chiefs and the Bills and the Ravens game, and mainly is because I did not think they'd make it to the Super Bowl this year under the same. My contention was, you can't make it every year. Even Brady made it only a third of the almost half the time, actually. That's insane that happened. But you don't go every year, right? You're not supposed to. I don't know. He might change that, Mahomes. He think about this. Reed and the defensive coordinator. God, I gave it to my brother this morning, and I forgot his name. Spagnolia, Italian guy, right? Excellent coordinator. He was the coordinator when they beat the Patriots, the Giants. He was the defensive coordinator of the Giants. So you're talking about an offensive genius, Reed, with a defensive genius, Spagnolia. And this is the reason. And with that quarterback, it's as we're seeing, it's almost impossible to beat him in a game that matters. We beat him in the regular season, right? I had the Bills against them. I had Denver against them. And I think I played the Lions week 1 against them. I thought they'd be a little soft, the Chiefs, and they were. And for a moment, it looked like the Lions were going to be playing the Chiefs this year. I actually thought that could happen, meaning before the game. And then the Chiefs were up, the Lions were up 17 at half, and I figured this game's it's over. And I had the Niners money line, and I had the points, mostly money line, but that lost with the Ravens. So we're seeing it's an interesting matchup because we have a 49er team that wants this Super Bowl and has done everything they can to get to this and to actually win it. I do have a problem with Purdy, right? So we've seen him win 2 games that he could have easily lost to teams that are inferior to the Chiefs. They're very inferior to the Chiefs. And we had to see he had to come back with the last minute, but he won. In sports, winning matters. That the final score is what really matters. It really does, Gurus. How you get there is really none of our business. But you could see that, here's how I break this game down. Purdy has the weapons. So let's say that Mahomes was on the Niners and Purdy was on the Chiefs. The Niners would probably be favored by about, I would say, 4.5, 5, 6 points, maybe 7. That's the truth. I mean, imagine if Mahomes had all those weapons. Now he has Kelsey, right, the best tight end in the NFL this year. That's 100%. His other receivers have played well in the Super Bowl, Gurus, and I didn't anticipate that for both games. I thought that the Ravens would close those windows and put some pressure on Mahomes and do a better job of defending. And they didn't have to really do anything, the Chiefs. They were able to sit back after they got that 14-7 lead. They were content to go in the locker room up 7. While the Ravens decided to get 2 personal fouls and give Mahomes 30 yards, and they cooked a field goal. And once they had that 2-score advantage, they played conservative the rest of the game. They didn't really need to do very much. They just watched the Ravens keep imploding on themselves. So, but they have the ability, the Chiefs, to score when they need to. They've proven that in the last 2 games against Buffalo. They have the ability to shut the team down, which we've seen now two games in a row on the road. In the second half, their defense hasn't allowed hardly any points. There's a statistic. They're leading the league in second half defense, this Chiefs team. So he has the weapons, Purdy, to beat this Chiefs team. I don't know if Purdy can beat the Chiefs team, but my prediction is he's going to have to play a good game, almost like the Foles game. We had Nick Foles when he was the backup for the Eagles against the Patriots. We took the Eagles in that game. I think they were a small dog. I believe Philly was. I think they're like plus 3.5. That was a decent number, I believe. And they won outright. But look at the game that Foles played, Gurus. He played an exceptional game. And last year Hurt played a very good game. He only made 1 turnover when he dropped that ball and doing a read option. He just dropped it. They picked it up and ran it. I don't know if they scored, but that was a huge turnover. But other than that, he played a terrific game, and they still couldn't beat the Chiefs, right? They had the number 1 defense, they claim, and they didn't have 1 sack. He had all day to throw. They scored 30-some points. That's not going to happen, Gurus, tomorrow. On Sunday. That will not happen. The game's going to be a defensive game. It'll probably be similar to in my opinion, it'll be similar to the game in the Raven game, but there'll be more scoring than that because Jackson and the Raven offense just went to shit. And we're not going to see that. Purdy is the team concept will be more effective. So it should be a fun game. Right now, I have no reason not to bet the Chiefs in this position. But I do believe the Niners are in a position to win. I believe they have the best team, but this quarterback is a major difference, and that's critical. And we know, just look at the past quarterbacks. Montana 4-0 in the Super Bowl. Brady, I think 7-2. 7-2. And Mahomes, I think, is already 3-1. So we're already seeing the difference when it gets to these big games, including the postseason. And we saw that because I lost twice to Mahomes. And, you go with the quarterback. And in this case, we definitely have a quarterback advantage. It's a definite advantage. And everyone knows that. And the Raven game, they're at home. And I thought that Jackson was a better quarterback than Purdy, and I know he is fundamentally, but game management wise, Purdy did. Again, he gets not much credit for winning any of those games, the team more or less. That's not going to happen in this game. You got to play a very good game to beat the Chiefs. You have to play a very good game on both sides. And I don't care if you're at home, doesn't matter where you're at. They'll beat you, or not in the regular season. There's more give there. And you saw that this year. We saw that. So it's an exciting game for us. The weekend will be nice, Gurus, Friday through Sunday. I'm going to be out there, but God willing, I will be out there, and that's going to be exciting for me. This is my first Super Bowl. I did live in California, so we had the Rams. The Rams about an hour and a half, about an hour and close to an hour and an hour and 15 from where I grew up to get to the Coliseum. So I did have that. It's not the same though. Now this is 15 minutes, 20 minutes from my house. So it just has a different feeling. We only have one team here. We always had two teams in California and three at sometimes. So this is very special. And that's why I started this show. We do have 2 round robins, Gurus, today. I want to get into those for you. And let's see here. Let's go to this one first. Okay, we're into conference play now. Saturday, we hit a round robin, but we didn't win the other 3. So we lost a little bit, Gurus, in a couple games that obviously we could have went either way. Could have easily went our way, but didn't. So Sunday, 2-1, and yesterday we didn't release anything. So we're managing, but we have to turn this into the black here. We released 4 round robins on Saturday, and we hit one of them, and we have to at least go 2-1 on 2 others, and that didn't happen. Obviously, we could have easily, but it didn't happen that way. So that's our focus and our mission is to make that happen for you, Gurus. So that's what we're here for. So today, starting on the call, we have Central Michigan, a big number on the road. These are the top 2 teams in conference. Michigan's 8-2, and the other team I think is 9-1. So matchup wise, they usually beat them, but you know what? This is a big number. That's a big number, Guru. So we're going to go with Central Michigan. Our best play today is Wyoming. That's in the Mountain West, and they're at home against New Mexico, and they covered the last game in New Mexico. So I look for them to cover at home. That's a big number for Wyoming. They're a solid team this year. They're a reasonable team. That's a big number. And it's tough to play in Wyoming. Very tough to play in Laramie. My brother went to San Diego State, and he played there. He said it was very difficult, to go to that environment. And it's grown since then, but not a whole lot. So it's tough to play there. We like Wyoming. And our favorite team, the Pacific Tigers, right? I hate this team. But they covered against St. Mary's against San Francisco on Saturday. And they're giving us a big number at home. We have to take this number, Gurus. That's too much, too many points. And this conference is not like, this conference has produced St. Mary's and Gonzaga every year for us. It's not that bad of a conference. And Pacific, that's just a very big number. You rarely see a number this high in a matchup like this, Gurus. And you have to get this many just to be able to play this game. So they covered last game, Pacific. We hope they cover again this game. It's just a lot of points, Gurus, and that's why we're betting it. So we have C-Mich. This is actually for the whoever wins this game will be the in first place in the MAC conference. And obviously we don't have to win. We're getting 15. I'm not taking the money lines on this. You can, because Pacific will not win this game. That's not going to happen. They only lost by 8 to San Francisco, but the St. Mary's is better than San Francisco. They've proven it. We had San Francisco against St. Mary's, and we covered on the road. So I'm sorry, that was Santa Clara. But they're not going to beat St. Mary's at home, so therefore there's no reason to bet this round robin, because the best you're going to do is hit 2 of them. And you could It's a tough game for Seamish to win. I might throw 10% on it. It's possible. But Pacific, I'll just take the money line on that game. They're not going to win. It's not going to happen. But the other two could. Wyoming could win and Seamish could win. That's a fact. 10% Gurus, though, on that game. NBA, we had the Heat on Sunday. That was a tough loss against the Clippers. You know, the Clippers are a very good team. And right now, Leonard's is one of the best players in the league. He's playing at a very high level. Again, I watched the Heat and Clipper game on Sunday, and I saw that Leonard dominated. You know, like he did when he won a ring. He got help that year because the Warriors lost two players in the finals, and when you do that, you're not gonna beat your opponent. So he got help, but he did beat Philly, hit a big shot at the end of the game, and so it looks like it very well could be the Clippers in Denver. I'm not overlooking. I am overlooking OKC and the Timberwolves. I don't think those teams will beat those two teams. I think Denver's playing possum a little bit this year. They don't really have. They should have home court. They're not going to have it, but I think they can win with that team. They can win They can win anywhere with their person. They had the best player in the league. So um, that remains to be seen. But no NBA today. Just the college. This is our first bet. And what we're going to do today, Gurus, is we're going to kingpin Wyoming today. And we've talked about this before. So I want to welcome the new followers on TikTok and Twitter X. I want to thank you guys for joining the show. Welcome. The reason this show is important is on TikTok and Twitter. I basically just put the games out. I don't say anything else. I show the games and it's simple. But on this show, we get a little more in depth on the concepts behind betting these teams, and that's why I like to do the show. Plus, it's fun to this show is that you can't find a show on the networks like this because they don't handicap, right? They give out picks. That's not handicapping. There's a difference, Gurus. They don't know what they're doing. They have no idea what they're doing. They don't know what forecasting what they're going to do. So we have 5 more weeks of this still of college basketball to go. We've only gone through 1 week, one strong weekend, and we have a lot more ahead of us. And I've been saying this now for a while. This is our bread and butter, college basketball, and we got to make that happen, Gurus. It's a lot of work, but we're making it. We're getting it done. Mark and I, we're getting the work done, and we're getting it done, Gurus. And we have a lot to look forward to. There's a lot of games, a lot of matchups, and that'll be very favorable. Today, Wyoming's our best bet. As you can see, we have it on 2 round robins. So we're going to go ahead and play Butler at UConn. Now, this is a tough game because it looks like their point guard, possibly, for Butler is out. He's questionable right now. Now, he didn't play last game, and they still beat Creighton on the road, which that's a tough thing to do. Butler's if you look at their lineup, they have a lot of balance on their squad. They all rebound about the same. There's a lot of contribution from each player. Those are the kind of teams you like to bet on because when a player goes down, they still have that concept to pick up the slack, and that's exactly what they did at Creighton. And I like this number. That's a lot of points. Butler lost at home to this team. So they're going to play hard. They're also a bubble. Looking at their conference record, they would have to win out to be a bubble team to get an at-large bid. And I don't see them Gurus winning this game. And if they don't have their point guard, there's no way they're going to win the game. If they have their point guard, they can make it relatively close, but I don't see them winning. But I'm going to, again, this reminds me, that's not as bad as Pacific. No one's as bad as Pacific. But I think why not 10%? I would stay with the points. I just don't think that UConn is. I watched the UConn St. John. I had a little money on St. John's. I did not release the game. I watched it though, and they're just there's no weaknesses on UConn. Every one of their players is just solid. There's no flaws. Tremendous coach, Hurley, tremendous coach. His dad was a coach growing up. Him and his brother, they went to a school, I think, called St. Joe's in New Jersey. And his dad is a legendary coach. Gurus, I guess it's fair to say if my father was in the broadcasting business, that I would have probably already been on a network for you to watch, right? And nepotism matters. And why does it matter? Because if you get your kids involved early in something you're very good at, you're going to make them better than you were. And really, that's the whole idea of having children, gurus, right? You want your kids to be better. So take, for example, Mahomes' dad and mom. Now, Mahomes' father is an alcoholic, big time. Now, why can gurus say that? Well, I used to be an interventionist and I used to work with addicts. And when you have 6 DUIs, that means you're an alcoholic because you've taken no steps to correct that behavior. And that means you're powerless. You've decided you're powerless to do that. And I can tell you, gurus, it's having an effect on Patrick Mahomes. And I don't see Mahomes having any drug issues. I can just tell the way he interacts. I don't believe that to be so. And usually, the child of an alcoholic, sometimes, obviously, they follow that pattern as they get older, but Mahomes has not. There's no way he could be this successful and be an alcoholic. It's just not. I don't see that, gurus. I mean, he may have a binge problem once in a great while, but I doubt that. I really do. But if you look at his dad, he looks very sick now. They showed mug shots of him. My heart breaks for Patrick Mahomes. I know he has a good life. I know he makes a lot of money. But I'll tell you, when you have a parent struggling with that, it's very hard to to process that even as an adult child. It's embarrassing to him. This is a big weekend for him, and his father's making headlines because he got pulled over yet again. And that's a big problem, Gurus. I don't think it'll affect him. His dad's been an alcoholic probably for most of his adult life. I don't know that part of it, but I know his DUIs have stretched over a period of time. I did see that yesterday. What that tells me is there's probably been alcoholism. And why does that matter? Well, because it does matter. It matters to anyone whose parent is like that. I'm bringing this up because part of the reason Patrick Mahomes is so successful is because his father played in the major leagues, so he already had a pathway. He used to go to games with his dad and hit the ball in batting practice. He followed his dad everywhere. His dad was his mentor, and his dad provided a pathway for Patrick Mahomes to be very successful as an athlete. And that's exactly what happened. He went to Texas Tech University. He could have played professional baseball, probably, Mahomes. We know he's one of the greatest quarterbacks, if not the greatest of all time, gurus. So will this affect him? It could. It very well could. I don't think it will, though, because he knows his dad has this problem. So I don't think it will affect him in this game. Unfortunately, his dad has this problem. We did release Florida State on Saturday um, at oh geez, Louisville. All right. Oh Lord. And gurus, there's some games you watch where you just know the outcome's kind of predetermined a little bit. This might have been one of them, gurus. Louisville's a very weak team. Great tradition, Louisville, but a weak team. And they, keep in mind the reason I'm releasing Florida State today is they are a bubble team still. If they win out, which they pretty much have to, they're going to the tournament probably. Probably. but they have to win. They really, if they lost to Louisville, I probably wouldn't have played this game. It's possible. They have to win now. That's how I see it. And Boston College isn't going to go to the tournament, Gurus. They're not going to go. They're not going to win the ACC tournament. They're not. So they're favored today. They actually were favored on Saturday. I didn't bet them, and they covered. I think it was against Clemson. I'm not sure. I'd have to look. So they won their game. They blew their wad, and now they're playing a better team. And I think Florida State will be focused. They have a great defense, Florida State. If you remember, we had them against North Carolina, and they should have covered that game. I have a comment here. There you go, Mark. Mark says Wyoming is a good play. Yeah, that's why we kingpin them. I agree, Mark. It's our best play today, Gurus. And, we've had mixed results, but this is a very solid play, Guru. So we're going to bet. I released it twice in 2 round robins. That shows you we like to play more than the others. That's a significant advantage. And I think we're going to hit this game, Gurus. And also, I'm going to play some money line on 15%, maybe 20. We'll see. But it's going to be a money line. Remember, we talked about that. Your primary bets to take the points, your secondary bets to take the money line. So if you're betting round robins, which is what this show is, you can do whatever you want. I'm simply your guide, Gurus. I like the round robin because when we hit all these plays, our multiplier goes up a lot. I will say on Saturday it hurt us, the round robin, even though we did hit a round robin, which is good because we didn't really lose much money. I think the whole loss for Saturday was 1 round robin. So I'll give you an example. If you're betting 100 away, okay, we had 1 winner and 3 losers. That's 3 losers is times 3 is $900. But the winner paid, let's see, that paid about 600-700. So you only lost 1. And I don't like losing. I'm not justifying losing. I'm simply pointing out the monetary value. You only lost approximately 1 round robin. So that would be one $300 leg. And again, shocking, we didn't go 2-1 on another one. We lost a couple close games. That's highly unusual for this time of the year, Goose. And I highly doubt that'll happen again. I really do, Goose. I'm telling you, from 25 years of experience here helping people win in sports. So we have to stay with what we understand and what we know. 7-3. Okay, Mark also posted this. 7-3. So okay, Mark. So he went 10 times in his career. So that's almost half of his career, Cruz. Brady went to the Super Bowl. It's just incredible. But right now, Mahomes is on his way, Gurus. And he's got a better coach. Reed is probably better than Belichick. I'm not. Can I guarantee that? Well, if we look at Reed's record without Patrick Mahomes, he had Donovan McNabb. They went to the Super Bowl. Reed is a better coach than Bill Belichick. That is 100%. I'm tired of people saying Belichick's the best coach in the world. I don't need to start out my show. I do have a video for Bill Belichick. Now, I won't be able to use that because he won't even be coaching next year. It looks like he's getting the year off, and I think he's done, Belichick, honestly, and he should be. He's not going to win without. He'd have to go to a great team, and most great teams are great because they already have their coach. So the Cowboys, even when the Cowboys in the 90s, right, they got Switzer from Oklahoma, and because Jimmy Johnson and Jones couldn't get along anymore, so he brought in, they won a championship with Switzer. Don't get me wrong, Switzer was a very good college coach, Gurus, at Oklahoma, but he didn't, the systems in that at that time were different. The Oklahoma ran the wishbone basically offense. It's mostly dominated run offense. And the Cowboys were running a pro set, right? Two backs, fullback. Emmett Smith, 2 wideouts and a tight end. Totally different system. They passed it half the time. So, but he did go up. He showed up and won. Dallas could have won without any coach. That's how great of a team. That was the last great team they had. They could have won with. I could have coached them. They'd have easily won. It probably would have done better. But they won a Super Bowl, right, with Switzer. And Belichick would have to go into something like that, and it's possible. Some team might say, "Hey, screw it. Our coach left for another reason, illness, who knows?" And they'll pick up Belichick to win the Super Bowl. Unlikely though. But I agree. My 7-3 is exceptional. What we're seeing out of Mahomes is exceptional, gurus. I have to bet on that this weekend. And again, I'm the kind of handicapper who, when I bet something, which again I bet against the Chiefs, I predicted they wouldn't be in this situation strictly because of randomness and positioning. I felt the Ravens put themselves, and Harbaugh does have a ring. He did have a ring, Harbaugh, with a weak quarterback. He won with Dilfer, for Christ's sakes. Now he had Jackson, and Jackson's, his career could be in big trouble. He's lost all of his confidence in the postseason. He has a terrible postseason record. And I knew that going into that game, Gurus. And that wasn't easy for Guru to pull the trigger on there, but I went with it. I felt this is their year. They've earned it. I felt the Chiefs were down with their receivers. And what do? They don't have one drop pass. So I do believe their receivers, it'll catch up to them maybe in this game. The Niners have a better defense than the Ravens. What I mean by that is they have better players. They have more great players. So, excuse me, gurus. So, I believe that this will be an interesting game, but I think this game comes down to quarterbacks, and I think it comes down to coaching, and I think those two areas definitely favor the Chiefs, and therefore we're going to be taking the Chiefs. I don't see any other way. But for today, we're in the business of today, gurus. I've always told you that since I started this show. I started this show, gurus, because we're in the business of today. So, with that as our theme, we have College Hoops Central Michigan getting 15. That's a conference game. They're over at, let's see, they're over at Akron. And then Butler's at the best team in college. That's on the next one. Wyoming is our best bet today. And then we have Pacific strictly because of the numbers. They did cover last game against San Francisco on the road. They're making this, that's just the way it is. They gave me such a big number. We'll see. We haven't had great success with this team, but I'm putting it on there at home. So is Wyoming. Now Mish is on the road, but that's okay. And then we'll go into the next one, gurus. We're going to go with Butler in the Big East at UConn. UConn's the best team. Butler lost earlier to this team. We're getting 16. You can buy it to that. You always want to buy to tie. We've had that discussion. Florida State is a bubble team, and they need to beat this team. Boston College has done well against them, so I think they recognize that. I think that loss to Louisville and North Carolina. They've lost 2 games in a row now. This is really it for Florida State. If they lose this game, Gurus, they're done. They're going to have to go to the finals of the ACC and win out. And I don't see that. If they win today, which they're supposed to have won last game, I'm not saying they should have beat North Carolina. They should have covered, though. They didn't need to win. We had 6.5, 7 in that game. But this game, they have to win if they want to go. They're a bubble team. They have to win. There's no exceptions. And then they have to win out. They can. They have a great defense. We can go over their schedule another time. For right now, they have to win this game. And I think they're heavily motivated to beat this team. I really do. They lost twice to them last year. So they should be motivated. And then Wyoming again. So we're going to kingpin Wyoming. That's our best play today, gurus. I want you to Focus on that game. You can bet it the way I'm doing, which is kingpinning it on 2 tickets, or you can individually bet it for more. And again, gurus, I'm your guide, right? That's why I'm here to help guide you through. This is a long season, gurus. And I see a lot of competition of mine out there on these platforms, but none of them do what I'm doing. None of them release round robins. They release one game, and what is that? So what? Who cares? Sure, if you can predict one game, that's fine. But my understanding is it's in this era that we're in of betting, it's better to just to lower your bets and go for higher multiplying, so higher returns on you. That's my opinion. We're here to have fun, gurus. Keep your day job. That's right for now, okay? Keep your day job. We're here to win. We're here to have fun, but we're also here to bet the best strategy to have success and compete. We have to compete first before we can make money. And that's what we're going to be doing here. So we're hanging in there, Mark and I. And we had a good weekday last week. And the Saturday was a little disappointing. I was really anticipating winning that day. We did hit one round robin. I figured we could hit two, or at least we go 2-1 on two others, then we make money. That was the whole, of course, that was my strategy, gurus. Today we're not doing anything in the NBA. The NBA's been solid. It slowed down a little bit. We're simply not releasing as much NBA as we were. It had a nice run. We were doing very well there. The odds makers are giving us very favorable numbers, and now they're tightening them up. So we identify that. So we're backing off it right now. It'll have its time. There's always a time for both, right? That's what gurus. I've been doing this for over 25 years, and I've been betting for 30 years. So my advantage over most of the people is experience. That's a long time to be looking at matchups and seeing how those matchups can help you build success. And I'm proud of that. It's a lot of work, gurus. Don't get me wrong. Saturday was the most difficult day we've had all season to make to evaluate these games. It was a lot of work, gurus. But again, I'm used to doing that, and I expect to have positive outcomes, meaning a profit, when I put that kind of work in. That's why I do it, gurus, and I love what I do, and I love helping you. I want to be here for you, and I'm going to be. I just want to let you know we didn't do a show on Monday because we didn't have any bets. That's the only reason why I wanted to do a show. I could sit back here and tell you everything you want, but for me, gurus, I started this show because I want to give you plays that day. I don't want to just talk about something that's on Sunday. You can go on ESPN for that, or Fox. Let them blow smoke up your ass. I'm here to win games today. I do care about the Super Bowl. As you know, I spoke about it to lead the show because it's a big deal, right? It's NFL, it's football. That's our bread and butter. But at the same, it's in my city, right? Beautiful Las Vegas, greatest city in the world. But we're here to win Wyoming today and the other teams that we're betting. That's why we're here. That's why I clicked this video on. It's for you to watch me. That's why. So I want you to put these bets in. We already went over them. For your people who are new to the show, just to let you know, as you know, if you're on TikTok, Twitter, X, I'm going to post both of these round robins on the platforms a little bit after the show's over. So you can always catch my picks on those shows, on those platforms, on the videos. I will be sending those out today to support the show and then the picks I gave out today. But we do this show to help give you more insight to understand the concepts behind what we're doing, why we're betting these games, and help you empower yourself, right? Because you have your own intelligence. I'm here to help you win more and to help you compete if you don't know how to win. And if you don't know how to win, gurus, you're looking at about a 150 game board on Saturday. That the more games for a handicapper who's inexperienced, the worse it is. The more games for an experienced handicapper, the better it is. Just remember I said that, and it's a long season, gurus, a very long season. And we're going to have a tremendous, we're talking about I released 12 games on Saturday. We went 6-6. Um, Combined with the NBA and that we went 1-1 in the NBA, so 5-5 in college. Now that's okay for most people. That's not okay for Guru. Maybe that's satisfactory to someone, not me. But you know what? I can't control that part of it. What I can do is keep putting good plays out and competing, and eventually we'll make a profit here. So we got time to do that. We have time to dominate, gurus. And I expect that to happen. It happened couple weeks ago. So to wrap it up, we're going to be, I will share my show. I'm going to be on the strip. I'm looking forward to it this weekend, end of this week. I can't wait to get out there, gurus. I've had this virus that's held me back for a while. But I'm looking forward to really being out there. I'll take some shots, post them on Twitter X and TikTok for you guys with my picks, if that's how it works out, whatever it is. But I'm excited to get out there. I'm sure I'll be able to meet some players. I'm looking forward to that. If I can get some pictures, I'll show those. I'll post those as well. I'm anticipating that. But it'll be fun to be out there. The energy is going to be crazy. And I'm going to try and get out there at least 2 days, or if not 3. I'd like to be there on Sunday when they play, because once that game's over, gurus, there's a flood of people that come down the strip, and it's beautiful to see it. So the traffic comes, the Allegiant Stadium is on the south end of the strip. So when the game ends, everyone comes north, and it's like a herd of Niners and Chiefs fans. It's really special, gurus. I know this because I went out during the Raiders and other teams that were here, and it's really special, gurus. The fans are happy. Keep in mind, these fans live in these cities that these teams are from. So they're I live in Vegas. I've been here 25 years. These fans, this is some of their newest experiences in Vegas. And the excitement, though, it really is infectious, gurus. You're alive when you're on that strip. That's the best way. You've reached the height of life, right? You can't get any more if you're into, flying, you could fly to the moon. Perhaps that would give you the same joy, whatever it is that makes you happy. But for me, it's sports. It's always been sports. I grew up playing it. And so for me, sports and joy are interconnected. That's just the way it is, gurus. So you'll see, if you ever get a chance to go to a game for your team, you'll experience what I'm talking about. And I'll try to give you that experience the next few days when I go out there. This weather's supposed to clear up by Thursday. So that's what I'm targeting. So I look forward to it, gurus. To being out there with you guys. I miss being out there and getting some new subscribers. We're going to make that happen. So anyway, I want to thank you for being on the show today. I will post these 2 round robins on these Twitter X and TikTok platforms for you. And let's have a good day today, gurus. Let's get this thing started on the right side. This is it. Let's get it going now and build that momentum up through the Super Bowl, and build that momentum through the conference tournaments, and build that momentum through the NCAA tournaments. It's very exciting, gurus, what's coming up. I love college basketball. It's a lot of work, but man, when that gets clicking, dear Lord, does that money and profit go up very quickly, gurus. And I'm looking forward to that, to sharing that with you guys. So I want to thank you for being on the show today. It's good to be back. I'm glad we did a show today. It's important to connect with you guys. Make sure you set your alerts on your YouTube channel for my show. Subscribe. It's free. Have other people subscribe. I need subscriptions. Share it with your friends and your networks you belong to. You're not going to get this from you're not going to get it at Disney, ESPN, or Fox. There are other podcasters like myself who have experience. If they're winning, stay with them. But come back to the guru. Always come back. I'm not going anywhere. I do take time off. I'm not going to release you garbage. I have to believe from my experience that the game has a financial advantage. And when I have that, I deliver that to you. That's my pledge to you. So again, thank you, gurus, for being on today. I want you to come back tomorrow. Understand Wednesday, Thursday are a bigger day. Thursday is even bigger than Wednesday. I seriously doubt we won't have a round robin. We'll probably have at least two tomorrow. So Wednesday I'm going to be on. Thursday I'm going to be on. We'll see about Friday. Most likely that's on because the NBA, every team plays pretty much. And then we go into Saturday where it's nuts, right? So stay with me. Come back tomorrow at noon. We shoot live here, noon to 1. And I want to thank you again. So come back tomorrow. Thank you for being here today. I love you guys.